Triple M footy special comments are brought to you by Cbus Super. Whether you're on the tools or in the office, Cbus is built to last.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter is brought to you by Exetel NBN, the speed you need.
Enjoying the half-time break for IGA Liquor. And the North Melbourne Footy Club are 2-point leaders over Essendon. Surprise leaders, it has to be said. Especially when you look at the Kangaroos side, I think 8 of their players have played 10 games or less, certainly 7, and 12 have played less than 50 games. That's half the team, obviously, or more than half the team. So very inexperienced North Melbourne outfit at the moment. They're holding their own with the much better credential Bombers 8-5 to 8-3, but half of a game to go, and you can't help but feeling at some stage that Essendon will explode, and it'll be a matter then of whether North can hang on. As I said, just 2 points. Interested with Wayne Carey joining me in this halftime assessment, former captain, premiership captain ×2 and superstar of the North Melbourne Footy Club. A couple of the Kangaroos, this is my first look at them live doing our stuff, Duck. A couple of them I've liked the look of. Sam Durden and Dan Nielsen, a couple of tall defenders, I reckon have stood up pretty well.
Yeah, I agree, JB. First time I've obviously seen them live as well, considering they haven't played too much footy.
Yep.
Yeah, they've stood up. They've done it, made a couple of mistakes, but you know what? They look equipped at this level, which is a good sign. And you don't know whether this is Essendon's bad play, but you know what? You've got to give credit where credit's due, and they've stood up in the first half. Big second half coming up for the Bombers, isn't it? Because we speak about the Bombers playing finals footy. I mean, with their draw, we looked at their draw and everyone's gone, oh, well, the Kangaroos tick, given where the Kangaroos are at with all of these kids. And just goes to show you can't beat enthusiasm. And they've come here with the right attitude, the Kangaroos, and the Bombers, probably not so.
The clearances will be an issue. We can see on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen a couple of the North Melbourne assistant coaches. Bulldog was one of them. I'm just trying to think of the other one there. Josh Drummond.
Yep.
Just talking to the midfield group because they are copping a bit of a walloping. The clearances very, very strongly Essendon's way.
Yeah, that is one area that the Kangaroos haven't been great in, and it's been Brownie mentioned it in that first half. When they win it in the middle of the ground, Joe Watson's been very good in that area. They go straight out to the wings. So the Kangaroos players getting drawn into the contest, Essendon players staying out, and that's their release. Pop it out to the wing, and they've been able to go forward off the back of that. But as you said, this inexperienced defence of the Kangaroos right now, being able to stand up, and where they've dominated, and I'm sure Brownie's already mentioned it, but uncontested marks. We went into the game saying that this was a Bombers' strength. They get uncontested footy, then they move the ball quickly through the corridor and can score very quickly. But the Kangaroos, well, they've beaten them at their own game at the moment.
So what do the Essendon Footy Club need to do? Beside of maybe an injection of intensity, what's the next sort of hour hold for them to really turn this around and perform as they should? Well,
I think it's a little bit of, it's clearly a little bit of attitude. And I just looked at the Chemist Warehouse replay screen before, and you saw Woosha, all the players sitting down there. You can see them listening intently. I reckon that would have been a bit of a rev up. Now this is a young team. We know what the Bombers have been through, but he's a real teacher, Woosha. But every now and then you have to give your team a spray. I reckon they might have got a little bit of a spray at half-time.
They're out the middle of the Essendon Footy Club. North Melbourne not out here yet. As Brian Taylor said, good crowd. And that's what you'd expect from Essendon. They're a big club, and when they start rolling, they do draw good numbers.
Well, he normally gets it within about 50, doesn't he? You know, I think he said about 38, 500 here today, so we'll see how close he is.
He might. He also brought a nice audience into the box here, Bristol, so obviously got some boys up from Monagita, Bristol, or somewhere in that region. Very nice to see anyone coming into the Triple M box and enjoying themselves in here. The other game, Port Adelaide, this is massive. They're taking on Melbourne at the MCG. Huge Final 8 shaping game, and the Demons 48 lead Port Adelaide 12.
With 3 minutes to go in the second quarter, and those 2 goals for Port Adelaide have come in the last 2 minutes.
They might get a third here too, almost got in clear, but now the Demons able to resurrect things from the back half. And this is a big game for Melbourne. They are starting to get some players back, but if they were going to play finals, they have to win this game at home, and they are.
Sorry, they've only kicked the 1 goal. They've kicked 1 goal, 6 Port Adelaide, so I thought they'd kick the 2 goals. But you're right, big game for Melbourne. They've got a lot of ins.
Yep.
Got a lot of ins today, and sometimes you just don't know how they settle in straight away. But clearly, this has been a great start for the D's.
Yep. And if they can hang on there, it'll really set them up for a run at a first final I think, where's Ashtua? Since 2006, I reckon it is for the Demons. That's the last time they played in a final. That's a long time ago. So for long-suffering Demons fans, they'll be very happy. Their run home is pretty good too. Well, yeah, not too bad anyway. They've got North Melbourne next week in Hobart. GWS will be tough. That's in Canberra. And then St Kilda, Brisbane, Collingwood. So for Melbourne fans, if they can get somewhere near their best team back, that's a good run home.
Yeah, no doubt. This is the big hurdle. This is the one that I thought they may have trouble with, JB. But as you said, that last 3 games,
yep,
you expect that they go into favourite in all of those, probably.
Yep, for Port Adelaide, and they'll also be there and thereabouts after today. St Kilda at home, and then they've got the showdown, Collingwood, Western Bulldogs and Gold Coast. So their future's in their hands as well. This is, Duck, for me, the most fascinating last 6 weeks we've had in a season for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Still so many games in the last 4 rounds, and the 8, well, it's not made up, and it probably won't be made up. A couple of games right in that last little bit there where we'll find out who finishes in those last 2 spots of the 8.
And that's why today is so vital for Essendon to get this next hour right, win this game of footy and set themselves up for a real good look at the final 8 as well. All right, Brian Taylor back in position, as is Nathan Brown Ashtua, narrowly in the knockdown on the boundary. We are ready to go. Second half, the Kangas by 2 points, 8-5 to 8-3. Thanks to McDonald's. Triple M Rocks Footy here to get your second half underway, BT.
So ready to go now, as you say. Kangaroos by 2 points. Is it a real, or are the Bombers just playing around at the moment? How good are the Bombers?
We're about to find out, BT.
Yep. Did we perhaps think they're a little better than they are? They've played non-contact footy here really today in the first half, haven't they?
They've been very poor.
Well, you know what? The Kangaroos have out-tackled them in their forward half of the ground, and they've just played. Well, they played better footy. Unfortunately, they're only the 2 points up, so a lot of upside for the Bombers.
Danaher's just kicked 1 today. Fantasia's got a couple. So here we get it underway. Lee Fisher to bounce the ball in the middle of the ground. Another low bounce. Mad Jack Daw read it beautifully. Heppel there as well, got held on to. So Heppel, first free kick of the second half here. He did pay advantage, and then he said no advantage, Lee Fisher.
I don't mind that, though. Sometimes you think they've got it, and they haven't.
You can't change your mind, Duck. That's my point. Heppel goes long and deep. No mark there by Hooker. Did well here, Parrish. Now little handball out from Hooker. North Melbourne applying pressure. Cunnington tackled there. Merritt took him to the ground. Slightly took him forward. Little ball here. Bell Chambers picks it up, and we'll have a ball up within 20 metres of the Bomber goal.
Yep, right in front of the goal face. Looking for a fast start here to this second half, the Bombers. Pushed out too easily, Magic Daw. Belcho with the snap, misses. Are behind to start the scoring, and it's just a point the difference. 8-4, 8-5. North by a point, and we've played just a minute in this the third term.
And that there sums up Magic. He's built like he's carved out of granite, but for a big guy can get pushed off the ball really easily.
Boy, I think Duck's saying he plays like Jane. Here's Collier, picks it up near the boundary line. A little ball back inside. Stewart got the fingertips on it. Advantage paid, and he missed. Fantasia played on. Free kick would have been 10 metres out from Stewart on the angle. He's not happy. And Fantasia missed the goal in the play-on situation. North Melbourne quickly back into play. Rovat's got it.
Come on, Razzle Dazzle. Rovat on the 45. Good kick to Dumont. Takes it. Looks the quick release and then goes the quick release. Rovat gets confronted. Goes for a little under the tunnel job that doesn't work. Well broken up. Heppel, a rare mistake. Ran over the footy. Atley went and got it. Gave it to Garner. Got it back from Garner to half forward. Benny Brown, good kick. Too far out to score, Brown. Wants to wheel and go. Does so now. Long ball forward. Wait in good shape. He kicked a goal from this exact spot. Deep in the pocket.
It's far too easy. So much space. Ben Brown took the mark. He was outside the field of play. Had to get back inside the field of play. Took about 5 or 6 seconds. And then you've got Jared Waite standing all on his own to be able to lead into space. The Bombers defenders didn't get back anywhere near quick enough on that occasion.
No, he came from outside 50 and drifted inside 50. And you're right, Brownie found far too much space.
Went with the outside of the boot. Bunana, right foot style first term. He's going to do the same thing here. And he has hit the post 3/4 of the way up. 8-6, 8-5, 1 point game. Triple M Exetel scoreboard, near map, aerial imagery, Ash.
Nearing half time, it's Melbourne by 32 points over Port Adelaide.
Gee, Port, too sure what to think of them. They've got the showdown in 2 weeks, Duck, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
So the Bombers. Ball back into play from Hurley. A thrashing kick into the centre square. Heppel, fast hands, got it off to Parrish. They could have gone Tip and Woody. Goddard runs, took a bounce, came back over his shoulder, had to go back and retrieve it, gave it to Heppel. Heppel with the left footer. McDonald, Tip and Woody has run all the way from half back. He's now in the forward pocket, applying the tackle here on Clark. He's got him. Incorrect disposal. McDonald, Tip and Woody.
It's going to be 50, is it?
Working as hard as anyone there to get on the end of it. The run was unreal.
He needs to take his full 30 seconds here because, as you said, Brian, he ran from half back. Don't worry about that. It's 50.
And the 50, so this will bring him right under the goal line now. And otherwise...
The 50 was against Scotty Thompson. You see here, Triple M Chemist Rouse replay. He's paid the free kick, and then Scotty Thompson throws Razzle Dazzle to the ground.
Who's Razzle Dazzle?
That's what Araz called himself.
Obviously tuned out for that interview pre-game. McDonald, Tip and Woody kicks his third. Now the Bombers a nice start here in the third quarter. 9-5-59, 8-6-54. The Kangaroos on the Exetel scoreboard. Tipper has 3.
Doug thought he was work experience.
I just wanted him to repeat it, PT.
Okay.
I knew exactly who Razzle Dazzle was.
I wonder in the history of the game, Nath Brown, we're talking about 50s that result in shots on goal from the line, whether there's anyone who's given more away than Scott Thompson.
I don't think so.
No. He is the very best at it. And there was absolutely no need for it. I think McDonald
just wanted to hurt him.
Would have kicked the goal anyway, but he just slammed Razzle Dazzle into the deck.
He was clearly
guaranteed the goal. Back around the grounds before we get back into this one. Near map aerial imagery, Ash.
Half-time, Melbourne by 32 over Port.
Higgins, a big bursting run. Long ball for Brown, who takes a mark in the square. Brilliant centre clearance, North Melbourne, a rare one. And Benny Brown's got it about 2 metres out, tight angle.
Gee, thought about running around then too.
He's only about a metre and a half out, so he should be able to do it in fairly regulation style.
He ran around in the second quarter, same position.
Bristol, what should you stand closer and almost just do this off a step?
No, he's going to run around.
Righto, he does exactly that, and he kicks it. Good player, Benny Brown. He has got goal number 3 on the afternoon, and North answer back. 9-6, 9-5, they lead by a point.
As I said, when he extends his arms, Brownie, there is absolutely nothing that Hartley can do. He's a big man.
And they've got some blokes who can butcher the footy in the middle of the Kangaroos, but if there's one man that you want on the end of it, it's Sean Higgins. He is an elite kick. He just put it out in front of Ben Brown because he knew the space was there and he let him do the rest.
So Madjack's having a little bit of an influence now. We talked about centre clearances. That was just looking at the Chemist Warehouse replay screen. That was a beautiful tap over the top. He's actually jumping over the top of Bell Chambers in that situation.
And the low bounce in the middle, I reckon, sort of, he's reading it better than perhaps what Big Bell Chambers is. Let's have a look at this. Here he is, the big fella. Madjack Dore got up magnificently, palmed it down to Cunnington. He turned around on a threepenny bit, went out wide to Garner. Took a great mark running in the same direction as Hurley was bearing down on him. Now he gets up, kick into the centre corridor. Good looking ball. Gee, it might have Falcon Big Larky in there. Went straight through the mitts, and now it stacks on. Ball up, 35 out from the goal of North Melbourne.
What are Larky's numbers, Ash, and how many Falcons?
Statless and 3 Falcons for Bosch Tools.
He just hasn't quite looked on it today, Nick Larky.
The game's just happening around the Lark a bit at the minute, just a little bit.
You can't have a go. It's his first game.
First game, Bell Chambers to get a free.
Supposed to be prepared.
Handball off. McKenna, side of the boot job. Luke McDonald's got work to do now. Danaher's with him. Danaher did brilliantly to shield the ball for Laverty. Comes back to Collier. Collier off a step, long ball down the line. Good mark taken almost by Stewart. Broken up in the air by Mountford, the smaller player, and then he'll get a free for a hold. Bottom of West Australia, Albany style. Declan Mountford, Claremont Footy Club. Breed him very tough there, Bristol.
Dog made out of stone there.
That's exactly what it is. Handball over the top, dangerous. It comes back to Clark, and Clark eventually found Nielsen.
Duck wouldn't know about that.
Further afield, Durden. Durden had a couple of looks and then decided to dump a long one down the line for Waite. Push in the back, no. I thought it was there. Footy out of play, going to be thrown in.
Should have been out of bounds on the full. It was to Gleeson, against Gleeson.
Yeah, it was.
So this will be Jared Waite free on centre wing. Let's go around the grounds near map aerial imagery. Still half time there, Ash.
It is, BT. Melbourne by 32 over Port Adelaide.
Short ball, Kangas working it forward in the hands now of Clark. the receding one, right on the National Tree Day logo. And it's not good for him. How old is he, Ash? 23, 2.
Yeah, Ryan Clark is only 20.
And he's just he's just about lost the lot. It's back to half skull head height, if you know what I mean. And now the ball goes over the line and out of bounds. We'll throw it in once again. Half forward for North here, who are hanging in there. We've played so far 8 minutes of this third quarter and no damage done on the scoreboard. In fact, they still lead by behind.
It was 2 points at quarter time, 2 points at half time. It's now a point. Throw in. Bell Chambers' Door. Bell Chambers just gets rid of Door. Ball on the ground. It's picked up now by Cunnington. Got it to Higgins. Handball missed its target. Been good. Has Garner. Ball now back to Higgins, the talented one. Around the body he goes. Sits it to the hot spot. Waite in front. Gleeson with a high fly. Little handball missed its target. It's about 25 out from North Melbourne's goal. Larkey got hold of it but couldn't really handle the footy. It's going to come back to Garner, who marks at 45 from home. This is not what he's always best at, the set shot stuff, Taylor Garner. He's looking, eyes darting to hand it off. Now there is no option and he's going to have to go back and take a kick. Set shots, Ash?
Yeah, 4 goals, 6 duck for Bosch Tools.
Yep.
So Taylor Garner has kicked 1 in the first term today. This will take his best. From outside 50. Shares the house with Majak Daw, with Luke McDonald. All sorts of business goes on there, Bristol, as Taylor Garner drop punt on the way, and he has pulled it miles to the left. And it's touched over the line to be thrown in.
What sort of stuff, Jim?
No, just they enjoy themselves, as young blokes do, Nath.
Walk the dog.
PlayStation.
That's it.
Yeah. Got the cat. Got a cat each, I believe. Boundary throw. Look at that repulsive boundary throw.
Yes,
It's half the distance. Supposed to go 18 metres.
How do you get that wrong?
Gee, can't you just whip it in normally? Here's Thompson. Marks coming up from half back. Marks at half forward, Scotty Thompson. Very, very crowded forward 50. All but about 7 or 8 players in there for both sides. So he chips it inside, tries to find something. Around the edges there was Kelly, couldn't get hold of it. Little handball come out the back door to Myers, gave the handball off, and Bagley's kick is out of bounds on the full, right where the 50-metre line intersects the boundary. So a tough one for Gibson, who I think has got it. Really tough from there. He'll be just looking to put it to the top of the square.
He actually goes into the pocket, and Garner's there. Nice stretch of the hands. And this is right up against the paint, so it will be a run-around banana-style job.
Again, the concentration from the Bombers defenders was poor there. Garner was on his own for an eternity. The ball hung in the air. He should never have this footy.
More likely to kick these than the directly in front ones, Tay Garner. That's no good, though. That's hung right across out in the full poxy. And it's going to be brought back in for the Bombers.
Well, BT, you marked all of the good kicks for the Bombers. They're going at 55% by foot. They've butchered the ball, and the Kangaroos over 70.
Another example there. They've had a horror day by foot today, the Bombers, in their strongest department, which is the foot skill. Mark here taken by Durden. Durden sends the ball back forward, bound wide. I think that was Larkey went up. It was almost a triple falcon as a big fella there takes it over the line in Benny Brown and will throw it back into play. So deep inside the 50 here for the Roos. Time in forward half in this quarter, Ash. North seem to have dominated.
Yeah, they're tracking at 70%, BT.
What? That is unheard of. 70% time in forward half here, and we've played 11 and a half minutes in this quarter already, and they've still got it inside their 50. Gentleman James Kelly dropped a mark, handball backwards to Gleeson. All Gleeson could do is kick it as far out as he could. North are going to keep it alive and bring it back inside 50. Squirting handball came out there to Swallow. Swallow got it off. Little one around the corner there came from Durden. High footy mark taken here, North Melbourne's way, and it's Majak Daw. So Majak Daw, man on the marks at 45, is going to have a ping. They've owned the footy here in the 12 minutes, but they've only kicked 1 goal out of that ownership.
And you look at all of the players in the Bombers' defence, and they've only been able to take 6 intercept marks today. Kangaroos have taken 16.
31st game for Majak. Close to the man on the mark from outside 50 off a couple of steps, right to the line. Had to be brushed through by Gleeson in the end, so not a bad try. And a minor score, so 59 plays 61, North Melbourne's way. Bob Jane, Team Arsnes.
Jared Waite just getting some treatment to the middle with his left hand. He should be right to go, though, being with the Docs.
Another intercept mark. Scott Thompson this time drills a low one, and there's Brian's man. Lark just couldn't hang on. It went through the mitts, and a free kick to the Bombers. Jobe Watson, high contact. Just having one of those days, the Lark.
He's pretty sore too, the Lark. He's hurt himself.
Jobe Watson, short one. Hartley's got it inside defensive 50. It just smells of the Bombers going to the other end and kicking a goal here. They've had it all down their end, North, and they're going to cough one up here, no doubt about it. Razzle dazzle, hands to it. The Araz runs around. Here it comes. Got it. You can read it like a kindergarten book. Orazio Fantasia got 3. North Melbourne own time in forward half and then cough up an easy one at the other end. 65-61, 4-point lead Bombers. Exetel scoreboard.
I'll tell you what, the finish was elite by Orazio because it was out in front of him. He had to paddle it and then move on to his left and run away, and he was still going at enormous speed and was able to left foot across the body. That's as good a goal as you'll see. But that's the first time we've seen the Bombers slingshot from the back end of their defensive end all the way through for a goal. That they are the best at it in the competition. But that's the first time today Kangaroos have been allowed them to do it.
Yeah, came off the back of young Larky dropping an easy mark in the end, but he's only his first game, Brownie. Don't be too harsh on him.
Coning in as well. Triple and Roxwoody for McDonald's. Try McCafe's best blend yet at McCafe drive-through right near you. Here is a Mad Jack Door. Didn't dispose of the ball legally. Umpire said play on, knocked out in the tackle, and now we'll have a ball up. So Fantasia kicks his third, 2 goals to 1 in the quarter, and as you predicted, JB, it had the smell of Essendon scoring easily when North had all of the play in this quarter. Madjack against Bell Chambers. Bell Chambers controls the ruck but put it down the throat of Swallow, the former skipper. Gave it off to Clark. McDonald tipping Woody. A lunging tackle from behind. Earns himself a free at half back. So McDonald tipping Woody wants to keep going here. Does out wide looking for Merritt. Merritt will take the mark right in front of the Essendon bench. Loves to square the ball and go inside. This time he goes down the line to Danaher. Danaher marks the lead. Big round coil. Loads up with the left. Long ball top of the square. They're all there. Bell Chambers. Madjack Tor almost took the mark out of the middle. Big pack of players. McDonald tipping Woody Atley did well to clear.
Got it to Williams, who's got to release the footy. They're just taken way too long back there. Advantage paid. They should goal here. Stewart has with the snap. So a couple of horrible defensive errors from the Kangaroos. Stewart's got his second. 2 in a row Bombers. Down to Yunez.
Nick Larky is just off getting his left knee assessed by the doctor. Dr. Owen White, what do you think?
Yeah, no, it's just being checked out by Dr. Peter McQueen. That left knee, they were checking his cruciate. I think it looked pretty stable, and they're just looking at the inside of the knee, the medial ligament. They're just still assessing it as we're speaking.
He doesn't look happy, though, to be honest.
Bob Jane, Team Arts, the tyre and wheel specialist, boys.
Gee, I thought Brendan Goddard made a big mistake there, Brendan, taking the advantage. Didn't have to do that. It was a great tackle by Stewart, was it? Was it Stewart in the chase?
May have been, Duck. Yeah, I think it was.
I think he laid the goal. The great tackle happened at half back. Tip and Wardy turn the ball back the other way.
And another rather small bounce in the middle there. Interesting handball by Heppel while he was still in mid-air.
A couple of them.
Yep. Kelly slid the handball to McKenna. McKenna to Merritt. Merritt's handball smothered. Went and got his own ball now. Brushed it outside to Collier. Look at him split and go wide. Now in the hands of Gleeson. Gets a good look. Goes forward. Laverde at the back. Couldn't hold the mark. McDonald, tipping Woody. Front and centre. Got the handball out the side door. Under real pressure here now. The North defenders. Zaharakis to Collier. Collier was clobbered in the tackle. Got it back to Zaharakis. Zaharakis now gives the ball to Hartley. Goes long and deep. McDonald tipping Woody again. This time Thompson with the big thump. Goes all the way to the boundary line. And Danaher couldn't save it. Over the line out of bounds. It's 61-71. Bombers by 10 points.
Tell you what, Zach Merritt's lifted in this quarter. He's had 6 disposals so far, and the tackle count 9 of the Bombers. North Melbourne won this quarter, but it's been Zach Merritt in the middle that started this.
Looks like they're starting to click into gear here, the Bombers. Waite in the ruck, got it back into the hands of Myers. Now Zaharakis, 3 in a row Bombers. Beautiful finish. Starting to extend away. 12-5, 77, 9-7, 61. Triple M Exetel scoreboard.
They're trying to say it's touched Jim, all the North Melbourne players, so they might review this one.
Yeah, they review them all anyway.
Have a look on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen here. Duck Zaharakis gets it out the back from the Myers handball, and going to be very hard to pay that the other way when the umpire says it's a goal. We might get a better angle here. Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen again. Zaharakis gets the ball. Jared Wade, and he has touched it.
Touched. That'll be a behind.
That'll be a behind. You're right, Duck. So let's listen in. Umpires have conferred. We await the result on the scoreboard. And it is a behind. You're quite right. So a good review there because it was a clear touch, wasn't it?
Yep.
All clear.
When
Jared
you see
Wade.
that instant reaction, Duck, from all players,
Yeah, you know. You
tend to
generally
know, don't you?
Hey, just a little stat on Fantasia, BT. When he kicks 3 goals or more, they've only lost 1 game this year, Essendon.
Short to McDonald.
Kicked the 3 already.
He's just got to hoist a long, high one.
Good stat, Duck.
And taken by
Clearly
Watson
got it off
outside
Chua.
50. Inside they come now. Big defensive fist from Swallow was good. Rovat read it well. Got it to Gibson. They're in trouble here, North. Handball over the top. McDonald to Swallow.
Oh.
He got absolutely owned by Jobe Watson. Holding the ball, the result.
He took him on, so he had to get penalised. Harsh penalty on Swallow.
He zigged when he should have zagged, Brian.
And he sort of ducked into it, and I reckon he's copped one high too. But,
He's copped a rib full, a body full of pounding from Watson, who now kicks looking for Stewart on the lead. Bell Chambers there. Stewart knocks it down deliberately, I reckon, to Heppel. Snap it, goal, got it. Got it. Heppel kicks the goal. They've kicked 4 goals to 1 in the quarter. 3 in a row, the Bombers, and they ignite. Suddenly, at the 19-minute mark, he's got a couple. 78 plays 61 in favour of the Bombers. Bomb JT marks Nez and Dr. Rowan White.
Andrew Swallow absolutely poleaxed there as the former skippers went head to head. He's indicated his right hip is the issue as he's limping off in the hands of the doctors. Dr. Rowan White, what are you thinking?
Yeah, hip pointer, very sore, slowly coming good as he comes off, and Nick Larkey just running on as we speak, so that knee all clear.
Doctor rather raspy there, isn't he?
Exetel scoreboard. NBN, the speed you need, by the way. It's now 17 points for the Bombers, 12-6 to 9-7. Horrible bounce again, just barely getting above the ruckman. Free kick for Trent Dumont. Maybe start throwing it up if you can't get the bounce working in the centre. That's 50 metres. Razzle Dazzle just ran through the area.
Yeah.
The Araz.
You've got to be within an arm's length of your opponent if you want to go. And he was about 8 metres behind him.
yeah, which is, and I agree with you, JB. The rule is just, well, it's not existent anymore.
They forgot about it, Duck, for 15 rounds.
And all of a sudden we've got 2 today already.
Yep, it's suddenly become an issue in the comp. We saw one in the Derby on 3/4 time just as Freo were coming, given to Josh Kennedy last week, which was horrible. So Trent Dumont, a much needed goal if he can kick it for North Melbourne. Try and stem a bit of this bleeding. On the way, it's nice, got it. 10-7, 67, 12-6, 78. Triple M Exetel scoreboard.
Just a thing on the bouncing in the middle, guys. You can see a new bit of turf's been put down there.
Yep.
So the umpires should immediately go, right, is it too soft because it's new turf, so we throw it up? Or, I've noticed it's Fisher that's got the lower bouncers. Get him out of there and put your best bouncer in there.
Well, you and I spoke to the umpires on the way to Adelaide yesterday, BT, and they spoke about the different grounds and how the different bounces at every ground. And there are grounds that the ball just doesn't bounce high, so just throw it up.
Exactly, and they have the authority to do that. So now I think we've got a good bouncer back in here now. I'm not saying anything against Lee Fisher, but there you go. There's the difference. So that bounce was a lot higher. Mad Jack Dorr got it down there to Higgins. So he should be bouncing every one. Troy Pennell out there at the moment. He's the best bouncer, clearly. Good mark taken by Gleeson. Cop some attention from Wade as well. Umpire called play on, don't know why. Maybe he didn't pay it a mark in the first place. Now it's anyone's footy. Inside the attacking 50 here for the Roos. Wade applying the tackle. North rested away. Higgins goes inside 50. And now Baggerley will get back here. Paddles the ball to himself, last line of defence.
And over the top to Heppel. Heppel will duck back, wanting his left side. Gets it. Just got to hoist a high one down the line. McDonald tipping Woody and Clark. Good wrestle, neither win it. Scotty Thompson comes through, really good hands. Gave it off to Dumont, got lots of inside targets. One of them's Cunnington, I should say. Sits it wide for Waite and/or Brown. It gets to the back and Waite. Sells some nice candy outside of the boot. Goal. Huge player for North Melbourne, Jared Waite. So much better when he comes in. 2 in a row, he's got 3. And the game tightens back up again. 11-7, 73, 12-6, 78.
Well, he does a lot of poor things, Scotty Thompson. He gives away free kicks, but that handball, as you summed it up, Jim, it had to be perfect because he had 3 Essendon players around him and then 2 out the back. It was pretty much a 5-on-2, and if that ball had released, it was going all the way for a Bombers goal. The handball hit, and all of a sudden they're having a shot at goal.
Not sure how the umpire, looking at the Chemist Warehouse replay screen, paid play on to Gleeson. He marked the footy, he took half a step, weight was on him.
So you're saying he played off his line, is he?
He took half a step, but the umpire was very quick to call play on.
2 in a row for North on the back of the Bombers, 3 in a row. Now Fisher went back in.
Again, Bristol.
Shocking bounce. Put the bouncer in there that can get it right. Nothing against you, Lee. You're making great decisions. But let's go the best bouncer, umpire. Put yourself in there. If you're the best bouncer, like whoever's the best goal
Troy
kicker,
Pennell.
put yourself in there, Troy, and you bounce it. Look after your mates. Here's Bell Chambers. Knocked it down. Higgins got a piece of it, went forward. Hooker drops the mark, but a hold. And Ben Brown's got the free. And have a look at him studiously walking back to the mark. And he'll get a kick at goal, 20 out directly in front.
He'll walk back to the centre.
So Ben Brown, he's kicked 3. Man on the mark's at 20. Ben Brown has now gone inside the centre square and approaching the centre circle.
Geez, how important's Higgins been, Brownie? Exceptional footballer, Sean Higgins.
Massive run up.
Everything he does is right.
Massive. Look at it. Look at it. Brown 20 metres out directly in front. It works for him. They're back in it. He's got 4. Brown's got 4. And wouldn't you believe it, North Melbourne, with 6 minutes left in the quarter, now lead by a point, Ash, after trailing by 17 just 5 minutes ago.
Yep, 8th lead change for the game, BT.
20 disposals, 4 clearances to Higgins. He has been... Merritt got them started in the middle of this quarter for the Bombers, and it's been Higgins who got that first clearance back, got it to Ben Brown. Then again on that occasion, it was Sean Higgins. He's been terrific, as has Ben Brown. He's been a target all day. Brown and Waite have really worked well together today.
So good response from the Kangas after Essendon rattled 3 on and really looked to have the game in their control. Here's Troy Pennell now, Bristol back in bouncer. Knows what he's doing, look at that.
Straight up.
Beautiful bounce. 1 to the ground. Zaharakis got a little kick in there. It'll go to Mountford. Went through his hands. Also went through Danaher's hands. Back to Mountford. Went through Jamont's hands. Shoveled it back to Dorr. Got to release the kick, and he does. Yeah, beautiful one-handed Mark Gleeson at half-back for the Bombers. Did magnificently well. Gave it off to Hurley. Hurley wide. That's a lovely ball too for Goddard, who's got it out in the wing. Sticks it forward, looking for Heppel in between 2 players. Terrific stuff. Great kick, Goddard. Heppel half forward. Long inside 50 ball. Lots of marking players in the air. Big defensive fist from Scotty Thompson. And it's out of play about 55 from home.
Crowd really enjoying this close contest now. 40,000 people here on Tipping, Ash. About 40,000, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon you're right, BT. Early 40s.
Yeah, well, I reckon closer to 40. Boundary throw in 55 metres around from the Essendon goal. Tight game. Orazio Fantasia got it inside 50. Danaher and Thompson. Thompson did well to hold Danaher off. A big opportunity here for the Bombers. Has taken over the boundary line, and the tackle is McDonald by Danaher. And they have a bit of a push and a smile at each other, and we'll throw it in. 40 out from the Bomber goal mouth. Kick the last 3 here, the Kangas.
They might have seen each other out a bit, Lukey Mack and Joe Danaher. It's the same sort of reptilian styling. No ruckman anywhere near it, so Majak Dor took that on the bounce. Through came Froggy Dumont. Through half-back, little one into Benny Brown, centre of the ground. They can wheel and go here, the Kangas. Atley's got good wheels. He's got real good wheels if this sits. It doesn't. And that allows McKenna to come in. Atley stays focused on the footy. Now he's met solidly. Great tackle, Kelly. Should have been rewarded holding the ball. Isn't, but the Bombers might come away. Although Collier went without it. Through came Zerha. Gave it to Rovat. Rovat's high ball forward. Ain't got the trip. And going back to market nicely was Hartley.
Yep, and so they live to fight another day here, the Bombers. Got Art on half-back, squaring kick. McDonald Tippenwoody's got to be clean with the pick-up. He was. Got it off to Parrish. Parrish short kick to Hooker. He reels it in quick. Handball over the top. Here's Zaharakis on the run. 50.
Oh, Joey.
40 closing. Short little ball in Orazio Fantasia has taken the mark.
Used to live together, Bristol, and hunt out in sort of Diamond Creek.
Now.
He hasn't been great with set shots at times, Two-Man. What are his numbers?
Yeah, for Fantasia. For Bosch Tool Stats, he's kicked 17 goals, 7.
Orazio Fantasia. 35 to 40 metres out. Here he is. Orazio Fantasia. Funny looking kick. Got the job done. Bombers back in front. Orazio's got 4. And the Bombers lead by 5 points on the Exetel scoreboard.
Yeah, sometimes, Duck, and David Zaharakis made a really good decision then. When you've got more options than what you need, he had 3 then that he could have kicked it to. Sometimes you stuff it up, but on that occasion he used his head and just saw that McDonald was going back to goal too hard, and Fantasia popped into a hole and he made the right decision. And 40 metres out directly in front, that's the right decision.
Around the grounds, please. Near map aerial imagery, Ash.
Early stages, third quarter. Melbourne by 31 points over Port Adelaide.
All right. We'll get some Bosch extended stats out of you, please, as I give you what we need to talk about with Bosch. Control your power tools through your smartphone with Bosch's connected range.
Yeah, so North Melbourne 64 uncontested marks in the first half, only 13 in this term.
Ball worried out of the hands of Swallow and Cunnington. Cunnington comes back hard on the footy. McGrath a little round the body one. Mullet's got to win a hard footy, an awkward footy. Well done by Darcy Parish. Brilliantly done by Merritt. On the up to Tip and Woody inside 50. Thought there might have been a hold on Laverty. No free kick. Good pick up Gibson. Sticks it wide into the hands of Williams. It goes straight through those mitts. Watson can wheel around. He can kick it to Hooker and Hooker can miss. So Williams, the first gamer, had a real nervous moment and he's led off by the miss. 85-79. Bombers by 6 points.
And straight through his Dukes there. Williams, the youngster, got a late call-up if you've just joined us. Robbie Tarrant pulled out in the warm-up. And this man didn't even know he was playing until about 25 minutes before the game. Got out there late for the on-ground warm-up, halfway through.
Kicked the goal with his first kick.
Yep. And now we've got a boundary throw in half forward here for the Bombers. So, Ash, how many goals collectively kicked in this quarter, please?
Yeah, for Bosch Tool Stats, we've had 9 majors.
It's been a bit of a frenzy. We're liking it. Val Chambers did the ruck work, got rid of Nadjack, banged the ball on the boot, deep inside 50, high ball. Hooker was there looking dangerous. Nice little lift out there from McDonald. A throw, said the umpire. Let's listen in. Not a lot going on. So it was a throw.
I reckon Hooker's the worst one you want. There's about 5 Bombers players around here, and Hooker dashed back to get his footy. I'd be looking around to see another
Tip and Woody.
whether there was a better kick around this one. Have a look at Hooker when he dashes. He was the closest man, but
yeah, but you don't sprint after it.
He's not a great kick, Hooksy.
Hooker, he's got to line up here. He's got 15 seconds.
Rolling with a sort of 6 or 7 year old man bun too.
Yeah,
and they've come and gone. That look.
Yeah. Saw Diesel Williams doing it during the week.
A double man bun recently. As he comes in, Hooker, and he's just butchered it left. And this is why, Hooks, you don't run after the footy, mate, when perhaps there's a little man that's a little more competent hanging around the fringes.
It might be razzle-dazzle, the little Araz. And this is the thing about him, Bristol. He shared a house with Davey Zaharakis, and they did some real good work. Well, Davey did most of the lifting, and then Razzle got on the end of some. Down to the wing here, nice ball too. Finds Simpkin. Talented young footballer Simpkin. Walks around a couple. Wants to find a target inside, can't, so he goes back to Williams, the first gamer. Williams runs a bit of an arc. He's got players out wide. Cunnington's one of them. Also Gibson. Gibson sticks it wider still and finds Higgins. A kick and a half from home. Higgins a long ball forward. Brown and Garner in the front. Neither could take it. Garner comes at it, but I think a free kick's going to go the Bombers' way. High contact McGrath.
Yeah, last line of defence there. 79 plays 86.
Had an amazing year, this kid. Sorry, BT.
That's all right. Apparently I was talking, but what do you want to say, Doug?
I know, he's had an amazing year, McGrath.
Yep. He's been really good. I know, speaking to Adrian Dodoro, the head recruiting guy down there, and of all of the players, he reckons the most impressive has been him.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable.
And we tend not to mark him as high because he's not down the other end kicking goals. He's defending. Zaharakis, Watson, Danaher with the stiff arm, and he got caught and he took him on.
Umpy.
Somehow he made contact with the boot, so the umpire played on. Gave the handball back to Watson. Watson into Arazi. Oh, couldn't get it. Jumping on the end of that as the first gamer in Williams.
Better hands on that occasion. Goes wide and finds Thompson. Thompson pretty much plays with booing every week because he just likes to club blokes. Handball over the top to McDonald, who's got real work to do now. Luke Mack He's in all styles. Gets a handball off to Mullet. He's in all styles. Goes with a little ball that's okay. And he finds Durden. Durden wants to take him on. He does by hand now. Zerha's in all sorts of strife. 10 seconds left. The Bombers have got time if they can get a quick entry. Kelly, handball forward, 5 seconds. Still got time. Goddard. It's going to end up with Watson. Can he get a target? No, there's the siren. So it's at a real knife's edge, this game. 86-79. Bombers are 7-point leaders. And we've got a quarter to go. Ripper at Etihad Stadium. Round the grounds, please, Ash. Near map aerial imagery.
Demons by 36 points over Port Adelaide. 9 minutes into the third quarter.
7-point lead, Bombers. Big run home. Stay with us. Bristles next with Duck, Brownie, Nez, the Doc and Ash. As for McDonald's, by the way, the McCafe's best blend yet is available at the McCafe drive-through near you. Get stuck into that for McDonald's Triple M Rocks Footy.
This quarter was brought to you by Exetel NBN, the speed you need.
For McDonald's, Triple M Rocks Footy.